Deiveson Figueiredo has legacy on his mind. As a former UFC Flyweight champion, now making waves in the Bantamweight division, the 37-year-old Brazilian warrior knows time is no longer a luxury. With his main event clash against Cory Sandhagen set for UFC Fight Night in Des Moines, Figueiredo is clear about what's at stake. A chance to etch his name into the history books as a two-division champion and one day secure a coveted spot in the UFC Hall of Fame. His journey up to bantamweight has been impressive, stringing together a trio of victories over Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt, and Marlon Chito Vera in under a year. Each win reinforced the notion that his fearsome power and well-rounded skills translated seamlessly to the heavier division. Though he stumbled in a decision loss to former champ Petr Yan in Macau, the setback did little to shake his resolve. In fact, it only fueled his desire to climb higher. Sandhagen, his opponent on May 3rd, is a dangerous obstacle, an elite striker and perennial contender whose only defeats in the UFC have come against current or former title holders. But Figueiredo welcomes the challenge. Known as Deus de Guerra, or God of War, he has made a career out of walking through fire and emerging victorious. He understands Sandhagen brings a diverse and dynamic arsenal into the octagon, fluid footwork, unpredictable angles, and a grinding pace. But Figueiredo says he's trained specifically for that kind of movement and intends to counter it with unrelenting aggression. He's visualized every step, every exchange, every burst of energy. Cory is a guy that loves a marathon, loves to run around in the octagon, so we trained for that, he stated, determined to push the pace and stay on the offensive. After his slow start against Yan, he focused on increasing his work rate to ensure he's firing from the opening bell. While there may be no title physically on the line in Des Moines, the stakes couldn't be higher. UFC bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili is already set to defend his belt against Sean O'Malley at UFC 316, and Figueiredo knows that with a decisive win over a top-5 opponent like Sandhagen, he could very well find himself next in line. For a man chasing history, this fight is more than a comeback. It's a statement. "I've worked so much for this," he said. "I've prepared myself. I visualized this guy moving around the octagon with me, so I'm going to make that happen and get that win." On May 3rd at the Wells Fargo Arena, Deiveson Figueiredo steps into the octagon not just to fight, but to move one step closer to immortality. Don't miss UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen vs. Figueiredo, with prelims starting at 7 p.m. ET, 4 p.m. PT, and the main card at 10 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. PT.